Oh, yes, yes, I'm preparing the perfect sound. So is that okay? Then can you hear me? Okay, thank you. um, Nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you for inviting me this great chance to meet you. And I got some questions before this meeting. And first question was, can you describe your role in your school? What are your roles, responsibilities? As you think, generally we teach all subjects except some subject that a dedicated teacher like English, PE, music, and so on. We teach all the subjects and we learn how to teach all the subjects before becoming the teacher. So yeah, we teach a lot. And actually we have uh, the system like homeroom teacher. I'm not sure that America is similar with us. We have a homeroom teacher, and a homeroom teacher manage class and manage class, and the homeroom teacher teach a lot of subject to that one class. So sometimes I feel like I'm like a manager. We have like a lot of conversation with the parents when students have a problem in school, and we like manage students relationship in between students. Not only teaching is important to elementary school teacher that elementary school teacher should like care a lot about students. Do you have any question about the first question? No? So can I move on to second question? Okay. How many students do you work with? Usually 22 to 28, but when you become an English teacher, you will meet like more than 100 students. Yeah. It's different between homeroom teacher and like English teacher, because English teacher usually teach like all students in one grade. Like for example, if you become a native English teacher in Korea, you teach grade 6, like more than 100 students, and you can teach grade 5. So you will meet lots of students, so you won't memorize all the students' name. Yeah, it's different between homeroom teacher and English teacher. And third question, how much time during the day do your students spend learning English? It has a difference between grade 3 to 4 and grade 5 to 6. For grade 3 to 4, they learn two times a week, and grade 5 to 6, they learn 3 times. And fourth question, how is that amount of time determined? Actually, we have national education process, and that determines the amount of time according to grade, as I said in third questions. Yeah. And fifth question, how is the time spent with your students structured? Generally we spend time for math, science, Korean, history, or social studies, and so on. And we have time for creative experience activities, we called. It is operated depending on homeroom teachers' plans or school year plans. And sometimes we have like school special day, like PE day or the arts day. We spend time for those kind of special day. It's very awkward that I can't hear anything else from you, and I just speak. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm not actually like outgoing person, so introverted person, so very awkward now. And question number 6, what types of activities, lesson structures do you find most impactful with your students? In our time, we in Korea teach English like teachers explain and students write down and memorize it. That was all the thing that we did when I was a kid. But now we do lots of action teaching, like student centered learning and group project and role playing. And I think those kind of different skills make students learn better. So simple knowledge delivering class can make students actually bored. And like it's worldwide problem. I think students these days, they like to watch and they like to see and they like to do something. So making students do something can help learn better. Yeah. And 7, how do you support a student who is struggling to learn English? How does your school support struggling learners? Actually, we call those kind of students slow learners, and for slow learners, regional office of education and each school has budget for students who need help in learning. And if they don't have any chance to get a private tutoring and academics, so we spend the money for those kind of students. So we students can apply for after school or lecture for especially English or math and English they can't learn by themselves. Yeah, so spend money a lot on math and English, and sometimes that teacher can be a native teacher or the school English teacher or another person from outside. And homeroom teacher also tutors that kind of students as well after school. Yeah. And last year I actually taught my students 3 people in my class, and I tutored them English and math and history. Yeah. And question 8, is there a grade level school-wide curriculum that is followed? If so, could you describe it? How does this curriculum support language learners? Actually, we have a specific grade level in curriculum, and we have a specific, I don't know in Korean, 교수 요모? No, 성취 기준. What's achievement standards for students, and we actually teach freely, but we teach to make them achieve achievement standards. Yeah, and I should have bring some papers, yeah, describing that achievement standards, but I forgot. Sorry about that. Number 9, what is your favorite thing about teaching? Actually, my favorite thing, it's a lot. First, when I teach, usually we teach 1 year. Homeroom teacher teach 1 year for one class, and when I met one students and they had like problems in mental or physical and relationship and things like that, and after 1 year they change, and it makes me very happy, and I feel like I achieved something. Actually, that's not my achievement, but it's achievement of students, but I feel like I achieved something. And some parents call me after 1 year and they like say, thank you for teaching my kids, and you changed my kids a lot, and can you do homeroom teacher next year again, and things like that. That feels me very proud of my job. And and I like to teach students, make like teach knowledge. You know, I know something but student didn't, but I teach something to students and they become like better person and know something like good, and I think I enjoying teaching something. Yeah. And I like to research, and I like to research new skills and apply that to my students. 새로운 기법을 학생들에게 적용했을 때 그 학생들이 더 즐겁게 이렇게 수업에 참여하고 더 큰 이제 배움이 일어났을 때 그게 정말 기쁜 것 같습니다. Yeah, thank you. And question 10, what have you learned from co-teaching with a native speaker? First, I learned the native speakers' culture. Yeah. In Korea, we have like foreigner, but not many people like in America and other immigrant countries. But I can learn the new culture from native speakers and students as well. They didn't know that kind of life in America or something different culture, but they learn like new culture from native speakers. And second, having harmony with different cultural person is very hard. I learned that because we live very different kind of atmosphere, environment, but because of the work, we have to become together, and it's not actually easy for very different kind of person. And in my experience of co-teaching, I met one native speaker from South Africa. It's just my experience, and she was vegetarian, and in that time it wasn't usual thing in Korea. Now it's like lots of vegetarian and vegan is like famous right now, but that time it was not usual, and I became thinking about that kind of lifestyle because of her. And third thing that I learned from co-teaching is it can be a negative thing or positive thing. I'm not sure. I should have teach like that native speaker teacher as well, because that some native teachers who has experience in teaching ESL students and lots of experience in teaching, they do great. But some teacher who doesn't have any experience and they just came to Korea, then I should have teach that teacher about how to teach students. Yeah, that was an easy job actually. Question 11. What do you think native speakers struggle with when teaching in a Korean classroom? Actually, they don't know the level of Korean students. Yeah, the general Korean students cannot speak English fluently, and they are very shy to speak English, and some native speakers can be upset about that level, and they couldn't understand students. Why they don't understand me? They say, but I have to explain why they can't understand native speakers saying. Actually, I do the teach in English in English class. I try hard, like that, but students can't understand 100% of English. So I have to use Korean and English mixed together. And native speakers, they use the usual words they just use. But we have teaching English, teachers English. Yeah. I think they are struggling with teachers English because teachers English is sometimes not like the general words you use, and it can be a little bit awkward word for native speakers. Yes. And number 12, do you feel like native teachers are valued more highly than non-native English teachers in Korea? It's person by person. Mature native teachers who has an experience in teaching EFL, ESL students, they have know how to teach and understand students deeply and try hard and develop own way to teach students. But sometimes native teachers who came Korea just for their own new experience in life, and I saw some kind of people like that, and that kind of teachers don't have cultural understanding of Korea, and EFL students, they get angry easily with students' language level, which they didn't expect it. Yeah, but if you have like open-minded about students, and students can see native speaker like a new creature, and it can feel you like unrespected. Yeah, but they are just very curious about new culture person, so that the expression of their expression of them is very rough. But if you have open-minded and be friendly with them, they will love you. Yeah, they try. If you like be friendly with students, then students will say hello to native speakers. They really want to speak something in English, but they can't. But you will see the face that they have like they are thinking a lot. Yeah, you can see it. And in the classroom that you teach is instructions only in English. I try, but we have to teach the all kind of levels students in one class, because in elementary school we don't actually separate the students in level. So we have to teach the high level students and low level students together. So for low level students, some students can't even read English and can't even write the alphabet. So we have to use English and Korea. English, Korea. Like that. and I remember one native teacher, and he actually didn't speak any Korean. He can't speak Korean, but he memorized the new English word in Korea, like we call check book, and he didn't only say book to student. He said book is check, like that, and students little bit laughed, but they really liked that. Yeah, because they felt like, oh, the teacher tried to learn Korean and we try to learn English and we are same. And I think they think that like that way. Yeah. And how difficult is maintaining a classroom while trying to teach English? As I told you, we have a integrated class, like high level students and low level students, and we are having integrated class with special children, like handicapped children. Actually, that kind of students, the special children, they can't actually speak. Sometimes they can't speak or need Korean, and that means they can't do any English activities, and some special kids just run around and yelling out sometimes. But usually, if you the native teachers go into the classroom with a co-teachers, that co-teacher will care that special kids. So, but it can be a problem to teacher sometimes. Yeah. And the difficulties can be the difference in language level. Yeah. And is there anything you wish could change the way you teach to make it easier or better? There in Korea, I think one class has too many students, because these days we pursue students individualities in class. But if I want to care about your individuality, there are too many students and we have only limited time. Yeah, so there needs to be decreasing in the number of students in class to have a class that respects individuality of students. And for language subject, I think we have to have a class that considers each student's level. Yeah, but we have to respect students and human rights, so we can't actually leveling students. But for the language, I think we have to have a special leveling system. I want to know the teacher and students relationship system in America. Like, as I told you, in Korea, homeroom teacher is mother-like in school. We manage everything about students. And how is America? The second grade homeroom teacher? So you're not. So the America doesn't have a homeroom teacher system? No. Thank you for answering my questions too. I really appreciate it. Thank you. How's your teaching teaching English to ESL students in America? Do you have any strugglings, or cultural difference?
Culture difference, because I work on campus as an ESL tutor, so it's mainly cultural differences and grammar differences are the biggest thing. So when I'm teaching, I teach writing, so there's a lot of grammar things that exist in other languages that don't exist in English, or the vice versa. So that's the hardest part, is like teaching things that don't exist in one language in the other. And also trying to translate what they're saying.
Communicate. Yeah. Even I learned English more than 10 years, I have a problem with ordering English vocabularies. Like, Korea's ordering words and English ordering word is very different. Vice versa. Yes, so I understand what they are having, the problem, what kind of problem they have. Yeah, but if you
Did you study in English-speaking countries before you were an English teacher?
I had an experience of living in Australia, like for three years in middle school age. So I think that experience helped me a lot. Yeah. So I know I'm saying wrong English, but I just say it. I'm just saying it, but because the listeners are good listeners, you are going to understand what I'm saying. So yeah. Yeah. If you have any more questions, then you can send me an email, and the professor knows my email. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I think the high school is great. I think.
Mm. And
Korea, I will share the
I will write down my email here, and yeah, especially yeah, if you visit Korea and come to Korea and having a job in Korea, call me and let's become a friends. Yeah, this is my email. So yeah. 네, 감사합니다. 저는 그러면 이만 가보겠습니다. 네, 안녕히 계세요. Mission completed.